All right, so we're back for episode 97, I think, at this point.
Yeah,
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 97
97.
of the Macbeef-Banquet podcast. And today is a little different because it's a War of the Worlds. We've got a special guest with us today, none other than esteemed local film buff, Ethan.
Hello.
Yo, I was trying to think of like a filmmaker with the name Ethan Cohen. That's what I should have said, or something like that. But no, anyway, yeah, we got my buddy Ethan in the studio with us today.
How's it going?
Good. How are you, Ethan?
I'm all right. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, dude. Absolutely. Ethan and I also went to film school together. Same as Brian. We all went to the same film school, and we just sort of hit it off. You know, one day, Ethan was just kind of giving me that look, and
One
I
thing
just
led to
couldn't
another.
resist. Yeah. And next thing you know, we're talking about movies. So
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's a great time. Ethan's one of my go-to guys for like all like my movie recommendations and stuff. Yeah, not all my movie recommendations, but like he's a good portion of them. So,
Thanks.
because Ethan watches a lot of movies. Ethan, is there anything you wanted to mention about yourself?
Not really. I'm just a film student, film fan. That's all you gotta know, I guess, for this.
Yeah. So Ethan's actually from out of state. Ethan comes from Colorado, actually.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. It's where you grew up, right?
Yep.
You grew up out there. Okay.
Moved
Yeah.
out here for college.
Yeah. It was like one of the weirdest things you had to do, like transitioning
Weirdest thing.
from Colorado to Michigan.
I don't know.
I remember
feel
you
like
saying the roads are narrower.
The roads are
here.
a lot narrower. My hometown in Colorado has like especially wide roads,
Yeah.
but they're like just narrow, a lot of potholes.
Mm-hmm. And
Wasn't
potheads.
a fan. Yeah,
Okay.
that too. Lots more Colorado. But
No.
yeah, that was a transition.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, all right. We watched we watched a movie this week that Ethan picked, which was The Killing of a Chinese Bookie.
Yes.
So, and you had seen this before, right, Ethan?
I watched it probably for the first time like a couple months ago.
Okay. Yeah. Directed by John Cassavetes.
Yeah, Cassavetes.
Cassavetes. And then it's got Ben Gazzara, Seymour Castle, Timothy Carey, a couple other people. Ethan, what did you think of it? A second time.
I really love this one. I've seen it 3 times
Or
now,
3 times,
actually, because I
okay.
watched the alternate cut of it
Oh, yeah.
a while, and then I watched the original cut again last night. But yeah, this was a movie I just kind of like. It really clicked for me. I'd seen a bit of Cassavetes' work before and had liked it, but this was the one where it really took off. And I love this movie. It's weird, but it just connects with me.
Yeah.
For some reason, I just love the performances and the
Okay.
weird pacing.
Yeah.
Just a lot of weird details. It doesn't focus on the things you think it would focus on with a story like this.
Yeah, absolutely. I noticed like the shooting style was a little bit different. It was kind of like laid back. I felt like almost because it was like not quite like documentary, but like sort of close to it because it would hold on like shots like a lot longer than I think it would. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It was kind of interesting because like even to the point of getting out of focus at times, and which was I think purposeful, but
Yeah, Cassavetes he's very much known as an actor's director.
hmm.
He started out as an actor. He had a really successful career, especially in the '60s. He had a big role in Dirty Dozen,
Yeah.
obviously, and then Rosemary's Baby is probably his biggest one.
Yeah,
He's super great
absolutely.
in that.
Yeah, yeah,
As the
yeah.
husband. But yeah, he really I think he was someone who was like fed up with Hollywood entertainment. And he just wanted to do his own kind of freeform movies. And I think his movies are all about highlighting the performances most of all, which is this one's kind of interesting because he is working within the crime thriller
Yeah.
arena a bit. So there are he shoots some action scenes in here and like some slower tension scenes, and they mostly work. I don't think it's what he's most interested in as
Yeah.
a filmmaker, as you can probably see.
Right.
But I think it works really well.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, I liked it. Miles, what did you think of it?
Yeah, what do you guys think about it?
Yeah, it was interesting. One thing I can think about the most is like a lot of the shots felt ahead of their time almost. Like the way
Yeah.
he shot because the film came out in '76, but it's like it felt like a lot of the shots you would see in more of a modern kind of film,
Yeah, I
which
can
gave
agree
it
with
a
that.
really almost timeless kind of feeling to it.
Yeah,
I really liked it.
I can agree with that.
Sure.
Yeah. Um, yeah, visually it was pretty solid, I would say. I mean, I like that. Yeah, can you think of any movies that you think it would compare to nowadays?
No, not. I mean,
Not like specific, but
yeah, I think it's just more just like in general the way because there were a lot of more close-up shots,
yeah,
and I could see
they
that being
relied more on
done
those.
more nowadays than previously.
Yeah, it kind of made me think a little bit of like a TV show. How like sometimes they'll shoot with like multiple cameras sort of thing because like
Mm-hmm.
it stayed on certain shots like when I would have expected them to cut to something else, which like you said, Ethan might just be
Yeah,
his directing style. Um,
I think I think it's a bit of both. 'Cause there's also the there's a lot of stuff they shot they didn't use, and then the other cut of it uses some scenes that aren't in this version.
okay,
I kind of skimmed through it again last night.
yeah,
Some things I think some was like a little bit of like gaps in logic and stuff around. I feel like those some of them may have been choices, and some of them may have been like it didn't work out with the shoot. This is a
yeah,
very like low budget
right,
movie. His movies got like when he was first making them, like the late '50s, he was just like shooting in his house with his friends, and he was basically just taking these roles in these like big Hollywood movies just so he could get money to make these like
these
super indie
his independent
movies.
stuff. Yeah,
This one like the production's a lot higher. Like I think the production got a little bit higher with each one
yeah,
that he
he started
did.
gaining traction.
This one's visually I think it's like beautiful in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Just the lighting in the club,
Oh yeah, no,
and
I love
everything.
that.
Mm-hmm.
The whole audition scene is like amazing. This movie's funny too. I feel like.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah,
No, there were some good laughs.
Wait, had you guys seen any Cassavetes films before at all? Or?
I don't think so.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't know. What else has he done?
The one he's most known for probably is Woman Under the Influence.
Yeah. I've probably
Which if
seen
you
it.
saw, I'm Thinking of Ending Things,
Yeah.
the Netflix movie. That's the movie that she's talking about when she goes into like the film critic mode. She's like quoting the review from that
Oh,
movie.
gotcha. Oh, specific. Gotcha.
But yeah, he's
Hmm.
not as well known as he's very much like an actor's.
Like, yeah.
Like the people that want to be actors are always really influenced by him, but a lot of other like types of film people are not as familiar with him.
Yeah.
I feel like.
That's kind of interesting. He's got like, yeah. I mean, that makes sense that he's got like that specific niche. Because I mean, you almost got to find that for yourself. I think, in
Yeah.
like an industry like that. So.
What did you think of Ben Gazzara's performance? Had you like seen him before in anything, or
I don't
seen
think
the
so,
character?
actually. But I'm pretty sure I liked his performance. He was
Cosmo.
yeah. But yeah, no, I liked the character. Well, I mean, I guess you're kind of supposed to. I feel like you're almost supposed to hate the character a little bit, but
Yeah.
or like feel a little, like he's kind of, because he's a club owner, so
Mm-hmm.
Feel for him, yeah.
in Vegas. So
Or
but
Los
like
Angeles,
yeah,
yeah.
as far as the performance, yeah, I thought it was pretty solid.
Mm-hmm.
So
I really love this performance on this character. Ben Gazzara is like I've only seen him in like leading roles in like 4 or so movies.
Yeah.
He was actually Jackie Treehorn in Big Lebowski.
Oh, yeah.
the guy who treats
That's
objects like women.
yeah,
But like he's just like I think he's another like one that like the acting people always go to, and I think you can really see why in this movie.
right, yeah,
Just like the way he carries himself. Just like look at his eyes and any scene, the way he's kind of like the way he like looks at the girls that work for him, kind of like so fondly.
yeah.
He's just always really doing something interesting in this movie. I feel like.
Absolutely, yeah. I didn't get taken out of it at all. It's like that's kind of like my way of like starting a basis of like judging sort of acting as best I can is like if I really believe that, then I think they're doing a pretty good job, and I felt like it was pretty solid throughout. So like I didn't really get taken out of it, but by that at all. So
For sure. Should we bring up the plot at all? Or
yeah, we can
Just in case.
talk
Okay.
about it. Yeah, if you want to talk about it.
I can do. Yeah, just in case people hadn't
Yeah,
watched it
they are
yet.
familiar with it.
But
Go
yeah,
for it.
Killing of a Chinese Bookie it's sort of a crime film. It's about this guy Cosmo Vitelli. He's a strip club owner in L.A. and he gets recruited by these gangsters after he loses a lot of money in one of their casinos. He's in debt.
Yep.
To go shoot a triad gang leader, under the impression that it's just a normal bookie.
Yeah.
Which he does. Spoiler alert: the Chinese bookie.
He does, in fact, yes.
Is killed in this movie.
Gun this guy down.
But a lot of what this movie focuses on is kind of the club dynamic, which is really it really threw me off because there's a lot of scenes of just watching the like
the
strip
show.
club performances in the show, and like I had to do a bit of research, but I could Ben Gazzara talked a bit about kind of how the metaphor that represents, and why they did that, and it's really interesting. But basically, the cat, it's like they're trying to do like cabaret burlesque, kind of a level above like a seedy strip club, but it's just awful and embarrassing, just really cringy.
Yeah,
There's
absolutely.
this guy who's kind of trying to be like the MC in cabaret, and called Mr. Sophistication, and he cannot. He like tries to tell jokes, they don't work.
Yeah, I really liked
he
him
can't
a
sing.
lot. He was good.
He's just super uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It basically like they do this one number, and it really reminded me of like when you're a little kid and you're like playing with your friends and you like work out a story and you're like, I'm gonna do a play,
Yeah.
and you like get your parents and make them watch it, but really it's just like everyone's doing their own thing and it's just like chaos.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like watching these, and it's like you just can't look away.
Yeah,
like they're kind of like
exactly.
boring in a way, but they're also just really like
Can't
holy
take your eyes
shit,
away.
riveting.
Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you think of those?
That's a good point. Yeah, absolutely. I 100% agree with that because it's like, yeah, it was like this was like, I was telling Miles, I think when we were watching, it's like people actually watch this. Like, it's like I don't know, this sort of stuff, and I was like, yeah, it's just a weird sort of bizarre thing that I've never really thought about getting affiliated with at all. So it's like it's just kind of interesting to look at, yeah. Because I thought about like Glow, like in season 3 or whatever, they kind of go to Vegas, right? And they're like at that like that casino or whatever. And then there's that other like that show with the like the drag queen and and like some of that stuff, and it's just like something I'd never really looked at as much before. So, and I don't know, it was just kind of, it was kind of interesting to be watching some
and this
of that.
is just a terrible version. Like if you watch like a scene from like Cabaret, like one of the songs, like it's like really well put together, and this is like trying to be that.
But it's just like some
it's bad, and that's where like the whole like metaphor for the artist or whatever comes in, because like you can see Cosmo really cares, and loves. He runs a CD Plays for sure, but he like legitimately cares about these girls, and he wants to put on like a good show.
Yeah.
He says at the end he tries to give people more than sex. I think he like honestly means that.
Yeah.
But he like choreographs the numbers. They have at the end he's talking about like a musical director, which I don't know how, because they don't even have any music.
Yeah.
They're just singing the "I Can't Give You Anything But Love" song.
Yeah.
And like everyone's clapping off rhythm. Like it's terrible.
That's
But I love the scene where he's like on his way to kill the guy, and he like stops to call for a taxi. And then he calls the club just to make sure how they're doing, and he wants to know what number they're doing.
Yeah.
And the bartender has no idea, and he's like singing the song for him.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But that's where like artist metaphor comes in, is that like if you think of him as like the director, he's trying to do these shows, and people only come because they care about the sex or the nudity.
Mm-hmm.
And then the studio bosses are the gangsters making him, act in a Hollywood movie or whatever.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like, I don't know, a little pretentious maybe, but I kind of related, honestly.
Sure.
Just when I think Ben Gazzara said in the interview, he was having trouble finding the character, and then when he like kind of discovered that about Cassavetes, that's what he was thinking with this movie.
Oh,
he was really able to like
help
put
his
himself
performance
into it. Yeah.
I like that. That's kind of cool. Because you can, that's like a tricky thing to be able to do, especially as an actor, I think, is trying to like draw from like that other person's experience, but like especially if you're working with them that closely.
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense. Yeah, there you go. But yeah, was there anything else that stood out to you, Miles?
No.
Not really.
No.
Would you watch it again?
I would, yeah. Honestly, just to get kind of a better view of it.
Yeah, I
and,
think would want to.
And watch any scene with Mr. Sophistication again.
Oh, yeah,
Like
yeah.
that.
One thing I love that he does is like every time one of the girls does anything in the show, he just looks so like annoyed at them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he's just like mad. He says at the end that he's mad that they get all the attention.
Yeah.
And that no one ever gives him credit for what he does. Like even like the last shot of the movie pretty much is like him singing the song, and then this like one of the strippers comes up and like lights a little fire thing on his chest.
Yeah.
And he just looks so like upset.
He's like, what the
And then the
fuck?
movie just ends.
Good.
Yeah, you look so dejected. I love it.
Super weird. What do you guys think of like the pacing of it? Because this movie like it got terrible reviews when it came out, and then John Cassavetes like hated the way it was edited and like shortened it up like a couple years later. So there's a shorter version. It's an hour and 48 minutes, and the first theatrical version is like 2 hours 15. Did you think it was like dragging it all, or?
I don't know.
Maybe a little towards the end.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
But I was able to. I think I was able to sit with it fine. I thought.
Yeah.
For throughout, I think, because there was stuff. I think there was enough to like. I don't know, get me through, sort of the odd pacing of it. I guess really. So because the story was interesting. So, I wasn't too worried about it. But, yeah. What did you think, Ethan?
Pacing wise, yeah, it's like that's kind of the weird thing with it. I think it's certainly slow in parts, but it's kind of the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just kind of like got sucked in by the weird pacing of it.
Yeah, I like what you said too about like how it's just sort of this this seedy little world that or like setting that they're in, and I don't know, it's like it felt like I don't know, just like honest a little bit, or like natural to like how life can be sometimes, with just how things can sort of, you can get kind of down on your luck, and you've got this small little thing you're doing, but it's like you said, it's yours, and Cosmo is able to sort of take pride in it still. Yep. So that was kind of cool. I like that about it. And yeah.
And I think when I was watching again, I'm like, Cosmo must have been like a career criminal or something before he started the club, because he like goes into badass mode.
Yeah, I know. I was like, when
smoothly, I was like,
car,
damn, okay.
Yeah. Towards the end,
I think that makes sense. They don't really go into his backstory, but I imagine he must have been like a hitman or something, or a pill before. Yeah. And now he's trying to go on straight and narrow with his club, and
this is how
be an artist, and they're drawing him back into it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah, I do love with the actual, when he does kill the bookie at the end. We don't really see much of that character, but right before he kills him, the guy's like, I've been bad, I'm sorry. And then he gets shot. It's just an extra little like character detail. It's like, I just want to know like this guy's story too.
Yeah. It leaves you interested in.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. That's clever. We'll have to use that tactic for one of our movies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, good stuff. But yeah. In your research, did you find any interesting tidbits or trivia?
Let's see. I was reading like the IMDb facts, and IMDb, and they said David Bowie was like on the set a lot, and he's like in some of the in the audience in some of the
really?
Crazy Horse club scenes. I couldn't find him. I was looking for him.
Yeah. Spot the David Bowie.
But yeah. And then apparently Scorsese and Cassavetes had like talked about the story idea beforehand at some point.
He like helped him kind of develop it, or?
Yeah,
or I'm not. Gave him his notes on it.
Totally not. I'm not sure what that ended up looking like in the end.
Yeah. How much like he really had to say on it.
Yeah, this movie got like pulled out of theaters after like a week.
Yeah.
Because everyone hated it apparently.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which you can sort of see. I don't know. I feel like it's just it's like you have to think about it differently, like a movie like this.
Yeah. Well, they just pull it out because it wasn't doing well sort of thing.
Yeah,
or,
it must have had a limited release or something.
Yeah,
Um,
I can see it. I mean, it does feel like one of those, like you said, you got to be in the right headspace for. So going to see it, it might not. Yeah, it might not attract the most attention unless you're a cinephile, I guess. So
Possibly, I don't know. It could have just been like a little, not the right crowd or ahead
yeah,
of its time or
exactly. Yeah,
something.
right.
Um,
Um,
Definitely picked up more of a following, which is cool.
which is good. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, yeah. I was gonna say, studying like his other movies and such, because you've seen a little bit more than I think we have. Um, how does this one rank compared to the rest of them? Do you like this one the most, or would you say this is one of his better ones?
This is my favorite one so far. I think I've seen 3 of his other movies.
Okay.
I watched actually one called Opening Night, which is the one he did after this one.
Yeah.
A couple days ago, and I like that one a lot too. This is his only like kind of crime one. All of his other ones are basically either about relationships, marriages,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. So I'm a big crime fan, but I like the kind of crime films that are very different than what you expect and focus on
Yeah.
the other kind of sides of that lifestyle as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, it fleshes it out right, and because it just makes for a better story, and it's more relatable too.
Yeah, I just love Ben Gazzara in this. He's in a few
Yeah.
of his other movies too, but like, he's just incredible. If you've never seen Anatomy of a Murder with James Stewart, he was in that when he was younger, and he's really good in that as well.
Oh, okay. Add it to the list.
Fantastic actor for sure.
Yeah. Very good. How do you feel about his like direction? I guess as John's direction.
Yeah. You can definitely. I think, like I said, he's the actor's
He's the actor's
director.
But like you said, it kind of works. I mean, and I think for this movie it works.
I think it does. Yeah. It's his movies are apparently very like, they're not as improvised as people say they are.
Okay.
I think a lot of it was worked out in rehearsal. When they spent 3 weeks rehearsing or something for this, apparently.
Yeah. Well, I believe that. I mean, because there are, like I said, I mean, the camera goes on a little bit longer than I expect it to, but like there are some pans and stuff in there, and there's some sort of movement and transition sometimes. So like I can see that a little bit. I think.
There's some really fantastic shots in this. I
Yeah.
mean, when he first shoots the guy,
Mm-hmm.
the bookie, there's a really great rack focus to this girl who's sitting at the bar. I don't know if he saw her before or not.
Yeah.
But like the guy that he shoots is in like a hot tub.
Yeah.
And she's sitting over by a bar, and it goes from the gun
To that.
her,
Yeah. I remember
and
that
her
shot.
reaction.
And then she like books it. Yeah.
And yeah, just the lighting in the club is fantastic.
Chinese
There's a
Bookie.
scene where this girl wants to. This is one of my favorite scenes in the movie. This girl wants to like audition for him
Yeah.
at the club.
Oh
and
yeah.
there's
Yeah.
this incredible like red light,
Mm-hmm.
and she goes in and gets this ridiculous outfit and comes out and is just like awkwardly jumping around, and the camera just films her feet for most of it.
Yeah.
And
That's
she kind
right.
of like runs, and she just looks like a little kid,
Yeah,
like, running
yeah.
around in a ballet outfit.
Yeah.
And he's like, "You don't have to jump. You don't have to."
Yeah.
Jump.
Yeah.
It's just awkward and like really like.
Yeah. It's like a weird thing to
Yeah.
watch. It's just yeah.
And they don't
Absolutely.
try and make it like too exploitive kind of towards the actor. There's a lot of nudity,
They
but
do it
it's
to
like
a point.
yeah,
Yeah. No, I
it's
get
very it looks as kind of awkward on purpose, and kind of just real how it would actually look,
that. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. No, I can agree with that 100%. Yeah. Was there anything else that kind of stood out to you?
Let's see. I don't know. I love the ending scene. The whole ending when he comes back and gives this whole speech about how you need to be comfortable, and people don't really listen to him that much, which I kind of love when he talks to the whole, all of the dancers and everything. It's funny, and then even the Mr. Sophistication kind of makes fun of him as he's leaving. He's like, "Man, he knows a lot about being comfortable." Kind of like makes fun of his whole like speech out there, and he walks out. He's got the gunshot, which I feel like he'd be in a lot worse shape than that. But I guess he's gonna die or something. What he died doing, what he loved, or I don't know. It's a tragedy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the ending. I don't know. What were your guys' other like kind of reactions to this one?
Yeah, Miles, what did you think?
You fucking put this shit on me. I don't know.
You're good. Well, I mean, yeah. How did you feel about it?
It was a
Overall.
movie, man. It was a movie.
It was a movie.
Yeah.
A good movie. A bad movie.
No, it was good. I don't really have anything else, Henry.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I guess I don't have much either. I mean, it was, like I said, I think the biggest thing I picked up on was just the way it was shot. So that was kind of the most interesting thing to take away from it because, again, I have my style. I think we're in film school right now, so we've got our set way of like doing things, or like we've started to figure out how we would shoot, how we would approach to a scene with the camera. So it was kind of interesting, like looking at how he would do it and how he did do it, especially because he is an actor and working with actors like that. So that was kind of cool. I'm trying to think. Because yeah, there was some good staging in it, I think. Especially, I'm trying to remember. There were some cool shots that had a lot of interesting depth. There's some shots with the car, and then I'm trying to remember. I think it's when he's going to kill the bookie. And he's like up against the wall, and you see the background. It was kind of cool. And then, yeah, like you said, I think I kind of thought a little bit of like French Connection too, with just like how like this with the setting of just like how dingy it is, which was kind of cool.
Yeah. The realism.
No realism, yeah, and Blue Velvet a little bit too, I guess. But yeah, no, I don't know. It was good. I'd watch it again. I definitely want to. I think just if there's anything I missed.
I liked it more the second time I watched it last night. Probably I could just kind of relax a bit and
Yeah.
notice some of the smaller things.
Yeah,
but yeah,
subtle details.
with the way Cassavetes like directs, he has such a level of like trust with his actors. He uses a lot of the same people, including his wife, Jenna Rowland. She's not in this one, but she's in most of his other ones, and he's in quite a few of them as well. So just like the level, they have like a little family sort of, I feel like, and he has like a level of trust and comfort with his actors that I think is really admirable.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you don't always see a lot. It's not, I don't think you're kind of taught to make films like this at film school. It kind of goes the opposite.
Absolutely. I would agree with that. Yeah.
But yeah, what did you see? Like, did you see any influences? I have a big one, I think, something that this movie influenced. But did you guys kind of pick up on?
Well, I think
or see any? I'd be interested in that.
Like that, this movie, like
that this movie
later.
is inspired later.
No, I think Miles had mentioned that it felt like movies that would sort of come out around this time, or like more modern shooting style. So I'm sure there's a couple. I mean, but I nothing specific that I can think of off the top of my head. What did you have?
Okay. Oh, the one I was thinking of, I think the movie the most like this recently was Uncut Gems.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And I think the Safdie brothers are really clear about loving Cassavetes.
Yeah.
And I've seen like some of their early shorts, and they're very like Cassavetes style.
Okay.
And they like to kind of create that atmosphere with the crew and the cast, where they kind of let anything happen, and they just kind of set up the cameras. And
it's a sort of a relaxed kind of
that
way to try to get the performances and.
Yeah, and Uncut Gems is definitely a lot. It's still it's not as tight as like Good Time, which is the one they did with Robert Pattinson. That one's like a very like A to B like thriller.
Yeah.
Very fast paced. Uncut Gems is still intense, but there's a lot of like scenes in Uncut Gems that go on longer than you think they do.
Mm-hmm.
And this one definitely has that, and they also have some similar subject matter. With the guy who owes money.
Yeah.
And kind of has this mad, charming, destructive energy around him.
Yeah, which makes it just interesting to watch, Absolutely. That's a good point. I didn't even think about that, to be honest. You did mention it the other day, but I totally forgot. But yeah, that's a good point. Very good movie, though. Very good, I would say. Yeah, like I said, I'd watch it again. At any rate, what else have you been watching, Ethan?
I've been watching. I did just finish Twin Peaks: The Return.
Oh, yeah?
For the
Okay.
first time.
Mhm.
Got the Showtime
Have you
trial.
have you seen The
Yes,
Return?
yeah.
Okay.
Have you seen
It's
that?
good.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I haven't talked to too many people who have seen it, but
I'm the odd
are you
one
a
out.
fan or?
Yeah. It's been a year or two since I watched it. But I remember being like so weirded out by by that. It was really interesting though. It was such like so different. I would say it was almost so different than the original Twin Peaks.
Oh
In my
yeah.
opinion.
For
What,
me,
what, what did you think, Em?
I really loved it, honestly. I think probably more than the original Twin Peaks, just because
Mhm.
it was a really great example of like how what you like choose not to show is just as important as what you choose to.
Mhm.
And it goes out of its way to make it kind of uncomfortable and not like
Yeah.
the Twin Peaks you're expecting. I think it kind of like it maybe turned a lot of people off with that. But it's a lot of it feels like a reaction to kind of the nostalgia, people relying too much on trying to like recreate old shows, and this was
Yeah.
very much like critiquing that.
Hmm.
That's a lot of things I know I missed. I definitely got to watch it again.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But
Absolutely.
really strong show, yeah.
I think like Brian said, I kind of want to get the box set. That might be cool, you know.
Yeah, I probably get ready to Showtime once my 3 days is up, so I'll have to get that.
Yeah. Right. Yes. We can dive deep into it again. That'd be good. I'm still in the midst of season 2, so I don't know if I'm gonna make it too because I'm busy this week. But I'm gonna
Yeah,
try to
it's
see.
go-
If I
it's
can-
leaving Netflix this month.
I know. Yeah. In 5 days, dude. It's gonna be gone.
Oh wow, dang.
So I don't think I'm gonna make it, but hopefully we'll
Anything
see.
else this week?
Anything
Or
else?
In general.
Not as much. Oh, I did have a good recommendation. I actually watched because of Chinese Bookie. I watched this movie called Saint Jack, which came out a few years later,
Okay.
which is a very similar movie, also with Ben Gazzara,
Oh,
where
okay.
he plays a pimp in Singapore, and he's a
Nice.
very
Named
similar
Wanda?
character. And what?
No.
No. But he's a very similar character. I think he's a little more like well put together and like under control than Cosmo, but he's also like kind of a good guy in a way.
Okay.
It was directed by Peter Bogdanovich, who did The Last Picture Show. It's on Amazon Prime. But it's a really good movie, and they like fit really well together.
Yeah.
So I did want to mention that. But other than that, just Twin Peaks, pretty much. I don't know. How about
Yeah.
you guys?
Yeah. Same. Twin Peaks. I've also been watching Psych, and then
Nice.
oh yeah, we watched those 2 episodes.
we did. We watched a Jaws episode, a Jaws themed episode,
Yeah.
because they do like a lot of like
Themed
themed
episodes.
Oh, that's
around like
awesome.
movies and such.
It's kind of like
or, like-
Community in that way.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
And so we just watched that. And then other than that, I think I mentioned it last week, but I watched The Big Lebowski again recently, which was fun. That was a good time. And then I think that's it for now. We've been pretty busy with other stuff, as you know, Ethan. And then Miles, what about you?
Trying to think. I know I watched a movie. I don't remember what it was. I started rewatching Love, Death, and Robots. That
Oh, okay.
Netflix show.
Yeah.
'Cause I really enjoyed the first season. I haven't seen the second season yet, so
Yeah.
I wanted to rewatch the first season.
Was it good?
Yeah, it's good. I know I really like it. It's
No, okay.
I like a lot of the animation that they do in that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What movie did I watch? It was probably it was Luca, the new Disney Plus movie.
Yeah, how was that?
It was
What
interesting.
was that?
I really
Check
liked
it
it. Connor, my wife, who's like a huge Disney fan, didn't really have any interest in watching it. Funnily
Yeah.
enough, but I wanted to watch it. It felt a lot like I think they were definitely trying to imitate like an Aardman film almost in the style, but it was I think it was very obviously like actual animation. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to make it look like stop motion. or
yeah.
Oh,
claymation,
yeah,
I mean.
like that.
And even like
Yeah.
the facial expression seemed very Aardman-esque.
Interesting. I'll have to
point.
watch that. I heard it's a little more like it's more like grounded kind of
Yeah.
than a lot of the Pixar movies without the magical realism.
Right.
as
Yeah.
much.
Even though
about
they're
that,
still like they're fucking fish people.
Oh,
The
there's still
fish
fish
people.
people. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But still, it was really good. It was more just like a Friends kind of movie.
Yeah.
Not like the TV show, but like
Right.
enjoy
Ross
the
and
time
Rachel.
you have with your friends, kind of thing.
Exactly. Like doing a podcast.
Yeah.
Good. Cool. Very good. Well,
Henry,
yes.
do you have something?
I do have something.
for
Yes.
us next
Yes.
week?
I do now. Okay. Because I didn't have a movie picked out.
Previously, yes.
Yes. But Ethan mentioned St. Jack, so we're going to watch that instead.
All right.
Oh, that'd be a great double feature.
Yeah, there we go. That'll be for next week. It's on Tubi
Oh yeah, it's on Amazon Prime
and,
too.
and
but,
Prime.
Okay.
yeah, it's a good movie. But it was kind of like Peter Bogdanovich's like comeback movie, I guess, because he.
Hey.
The married couple is fighting over
Sorry.
it.
Was there another cat up there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's on the stairs.
Dang.
But yeah. St. Jack. So yeah, watch that for next week.
Mm-hmm.
Came out in 79, it looks like.
Yep.
Yep. It's got Peter Bogdanovich,
Yeah, he acts in it
Ben
as well.
Gazzara, dude. Yeah.
Actually, it was kind of cool. George Lazenby is in it.
Oh yeah.
Who played? That's the only other thing I'd seen him in besides the one James Bond movie
Yeah.
he did.
Um,
Where he was James Bond.
Oh yeah. Eli just doesn't care.
Yeah.
But cool. Well, we'll watch
It's a
that.
good movie, dude.
Yeah, we'll watch
you
that.
have to tell me
for-
what you think of that.
yeah,
one.
yeah, definitely. You can listen to the episode with us. We'll all listen.
I
to
won't
it.
actually talk to you. I just want you to listen to our.
Well, you can just
episode.
listen. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Cool. Well, that's gonna. I think that's gonna do it for the first part of our
Yeah.
All right.
podcast. Yeah, for the Macbeef-Banquet podcast today. Thanks, Ethan, for hanging out with us today and talking about this
Of course,
interesting
thanks for
movie.
having me on.
Yeah, man, we
Hope you guys like the movie.
absolutely. Yeah, I'd say so.
Is there anything you wanna plug?
Oh yeah, any stuff you got in your YouTube channel?
Just to my YouTube channel. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got a few skits kind of on there, some videos.
good stuff. Some good
One song. I'm
mentions.
trying to put more on there. Do some original music. It's just Ethan Peterson.
Yep.
Is, the
We'll
name of
link
the
it.
channel.
We'll link it,
So,
and we'll wink
yeah,
it.
Thank you.
Stop.
Okay, yeah, cool. Well, that's gonna do it for today. Thanks for listening, guys,
Mm-hmm.
to Miles, myself, and Ethan. And we'll see you next week for I already forgot St. Jack. Yeah.